Hey guys, this is Mrs. Keith, and we're going to do notes today over secant and tangent when they intersect on the circle. So if you have that yellow flip book, this is on the page that's titled Angle Measures, Intersecting Chords, Secants, and Tangents. We're just doing the ones that are on the circle, so there's only this little section that we've highlighted here, and number 25 as an example, and then I'm going to do a few more examples on top of that. So what I want you to notice is that you've got this tangent line right here, and you've got a secant, and where they intersect right here is on the circle. And anytime your vertex is on the circle, remember we call that an inscribed angle. And it always equals half of the arc. That's what we talked about last week. So in this picture, if we're talking about angle 1, the side of the circle that lies between that angle's sides, it's being funny, sorry. The part of the circle that lies between the sides of angle 1 is this part right here. And then the part of the circle that lies between the sides of angle 2 is this part right here. So whenever you're finding angle 1 is going to be half as big as that arc ABC that we highlighted right here. When you find angle 2, it's going to be half as big as arc AC because that's the part of the circles that part of the circle that lies between the sides that create angle 2. All right, let's do some examples. Okay, so for this first one, this is example 25 in that flip book. And if you don't have the flip book, you can just follow along with me. You're trying to figure out the measure of arc WX, which is this arc right here. Remember, when you name it with just 2 letters, you're talking about the shortest distance between those 2 letters. If you look at this angle right here that they've labeled 138 degrees, these are the sides that create that angle. So the part of the circle that lies between the sides of that angle 138 is this part right here. So that arc should be twice as big as that angle, which makes it 276 degrees. All right, you've been asked to find arc WX. So right now what we know is that the measure of arc WVX equals 276. Well, 276 plus that arc WX should equal 360. So if I just do 360 minus 276, it should give me the measure of arc WX. So the measure of arc WX is going to equal 84 degrees when I subtract that. That does not look like an 8, does it? Sorry. I'll do that better. So 84 degrees. All right, let's do another example. Okay, on this next one, again, you're looking for you're looking to find the measure of arc AEB. It should have that on there. I'm sorry, that threw me off. You should see that arc symbol right there. So arc AEB is this arc right here. You have to go start at A, go through E to get to B. And it's got to be a pretty big arc because we named it with 3 letters. So they told me that the measure of angle A is 77 degrees. Well, angle A, these are the sides that make up that angle. So this arc right here, or this part of the circle, is the part that lies between the sides of that angle. And it should be twice as big as that angle because that angle A is an inscribed angle. So if I do 77 times 2, I get 154. And then if I'm finding the other side of that circle, I'm just going to do 360 minus 154. And I'm going to get 206. So this angle, or this arc over here, is 206 degrees, which is answering that question. All right, I'm going to go to the other page that has a few more examples as well. Okay, that'll be a separate deal, just a sec. Okay, a few more examples. I'm now solving for the indicated angle. I want to know what this angle right here is, which is this angle. They've told me that the arc measure right here is 78 degrees. So that angle, the question mark, should be half as big as that 78 degrees. So the question mark angle should be 39 degrees. because that angle is an inscribed angle and it should be half as big as that arc. All right, number 2. This time we're asked to find this arc over here. We've been given, though, this angle right here. That's an inscribed angle, and we were told that it's 36 degrees. So that arc measure right here should be twice as big as that 36. So when I do 36 times 2, I get 72 degrees. So this arc measure right here is 72. And then when I do 360 minus that 72, it's going to give me what the question mark is. So question mark is 288 degrees. All right. Okay, I moved it up just a little bit. So now we're asked to solve for x in my directions. So they've given me this angle right here is 7x minus 10. That's this angle that has its vertex on the circle. So the part of the circle that lies between the sides of that angle is right here. That's the 120. So that tells me that that 7x minus 10 has to be half as big as that 120. So 7x minus 10 equals 60, which makes 7x equal to 70. So x equals 10. And that's what that's asking me for. Okay, on the 4th example, on this page, we have been given that this angle measure right here is 16x plus 4. This is an inscribed angle because its vertex is on the circle. So the part of the circle that lies between the sides of that angle is right here. And it should be twice as big as that 16x plus 4. So if I were to distribute that, that would be 32x plus 8. All right, when I combine this with this, they should add up to be 360 because they form a full circle. So I'm just going to set up that equation. 32x plus 8 plus 38x plus 2 is going to equal 360. When I combine like terms, the 32x and the 38x is 70x. 8 and 2 combine to be 10. All right, solving that by moving 10 over to the other side, I get 70x equals 350. So x equals 5. Okay, so sometimes we don't just ask you to solve for x, we ask you to plug it back in. So if we plugged it back in here, if I did 32 times x plus 8, I would get that this arc measure here is 168. If I do 38 times 5 plus 2, I get that this arc measure is 192. And you can check yourself, make sure that 192 plus the 168 add up to be 360, which they do. This angle measure, when I do 16 times 5 plus 4, I'm going to get that this angle is 84. And then these two right here, well, you could get this angle right here. That angle should be half as big as that 92 because it's an inscribed angle as well. So it should be 96. Oops. It is not going to let me write that. Sorry. Okay, now then these two angles, let me highlight it. These two angles right here form a linear pair, so they should add up to be 180. So just another way to check your answer. All right, and those are your notes over angles that are formed by a tangent and a secant, and they intersect on the circle. Thanks.